Welcome to Not a Roofers podcast, where we discuss roofing
without all the jargon. I'm Brianna.
And I'm Charity.
And this is today's episode. Hello and welcome back to Not a Roofers podcast. Today we are going to talk about what causes holes in roofing. And unlike a lot of our other topics, there actually isn't a definition. So I don't know what I'm going to do. There's no definition.
I mean, so not all of our episodes have definitions because when we interview people, we don't give definitions.
But those are interviews. Like, that's a little bit different. This is like we're talking about a roofing topic and there's not a definition. I guess I could have probably looked up like puncturing. I could have like talked about it that way, but I didn't think about that until now. So it's okay.
That's okay. You know what? We don't need a definition for everything. We give definitions to specific words and roofing terms, whereas this is just more an all-encompassing, like, what causes the holes that you do find in your roof. So first up, we have storm damage. Like, just simple storm damage can cause holes in your roofing, whether that's hail or just super heavy rain or even snow, because more like the ice, if the snow turns to ice, that could puncture the roof.
Well, beyond that, I mean, we talked about weathering, and one of the things with weathering is when it comes to, windstorms, it picks up debris that can hit your roof. I think the tornadoes usually fall into that, even hurricanes. There's those high winds that pick up maybe some small rocks and branches, but honestly, with hurricanes and tornadoes, they can pick up anything, and those things can hit your roof and cause damage, along, of course, with the hail and anything else.
Well, and then you mentioned branches or trees, and tree damage is another cause of holes in the roof. So if you have a tree that is not necessarily right next to your house, but overhangs over the house, those branches can rub against the roofing. Now, I guess I say house because I don't see a tree being on top of a commercial building.
Not saying it's not possible.
Yeah.
Unlikely.
Commercial buildings are a bit taller than residential sometimes. But the tree rubbing up against the branches, rubbing on the roof or falling, that all causes damage, which could cause holes in your roofing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all I can think of with having trees over a house, there are branches. My husband is a little obsessed with squirrels. And all I can think of is squirrels, like, hopping from your roof to the branches and then dropping nuts on the house.
Except squirrels also cause holes in roofing. Squirrels, birds, raccoons. Just them walking, not to mention in some of our previous episodes, we talked about how they dig into the attic. But just them walking their nails can move the roofing materials around and cause holes.
Yeah, another cause, moving away from little critters, and actually one of the big causes of holes on roofing is if you do not have the proper people being careful when they're on your roof. And so, any foot traffic on commercial buildings, homes, if the person doesn't know what they're doing and they don't walk on the roof properly, they can cause holes. I know we were talking about in a previous episode, some of the membranes have certain temperatures that they work the best in, and after or under a certain temperature, if there's foot traffic, it really does cause tears and holes in the membrane. And not everyone's going to know that, so that's why you need to have a professional or have professionals. Or when we were talking about HVAC systems, a lot of those on commercial buildings are on the roof, and the people who come and look at the HVACs aren't roofing professionals. They don't know how to how to tread carefully on the roofing. They're just there for HVAC. So definitely.
Well, not only HVACs, but then satellite installation. That is also people on the roof that are not, and not all satellites are put on the roof. Some of them are put on the side of the house or commercial building because some commercial buildings do have satellites. But then also, improper installation of a roofing system can not necessarily directly cause holes in the roofing system, but just improper installation is going to cause issues that then could cause holes.
Another reason that holes are caused in roofing material is a topic that we bring up a lot is just quality of the materials that you are using. I don't know how else to put it, but like we've used shoe analogies, we've
You
used
can't put a
everything.
price on good quality.
No, I mean, you
You
can,
can, but
but I mean, I don't know how else to be like, if you buy clothes that are $5 versus clothes that are $15, I'm guessing the quality on the $15 is more. The same goes with roofing materials in every capacity. You don't want to go pick the material that costs the cheapest just because it's the cheapest. You want to make sure that the quality is there, because usually quality equals longevity. And so, if you're wanting your roof to last longer and perform better, you're going to need to be putting in just a little bit more into that, with on the front side and along with maintenance in the future.
and then if we just move slightly to a different type of roofing type, metal roofs, you look at this list and you're like, oh, well, my metal roof is immune to all of these. No, it's not, because it's metal and rust causes holes. And unfortunately, metal roofing does rust. So keep
If
that in mind.
cars if cars can rust, metal roofs can rust.
There are ways to prevent that with maintenance, but rust does cause holes in your roof.
And then the last thing to know about when it comes to holes in roofing is just the general wear and tear. We've talked about why maintenance is important. We've talked about weathering. We've talked about a whole bunch of other things, and all of it leads to the fact that as a roof sits on top of a building, there are just natural things that are going to happen to it and are going to wear it down, and there's nothing you can really do about it. Like, it's going to naturally decay. You can try and prevent things with maintenance, but at the end of the day, if you have a roof on a building, it is out there for all of the elements and for things to happen to it. So,
And I'm sure there are more ways than just what we've listed that can cause holes. We just wanted to give you an idea of some things that cause holes in your roofing so that you can take the appropriate preventative measure to those. So, say you have trees near your house, you should probably have your roof looked at to make sure they're not causing damage.
well, beyond that, there's also the you can trim your trees. In the spring, I feel like, and sometimes in the fall, people really take the time to clean up things like trees and debris in their yard.
Mm-hmm.
Take that little bit of extra time to look at your roof. If it's a house, take that time to clean out the gutters. Just little things here or there that will help prevent damage in the future.
And a lot of the things we said are preventable to a point. You can prevent improper installations by hiring a company that knows what they are doing. You can prevent some tree damage if you are taking care of the surrounding trees. The quality of materials, you can prevent that. Um, People up on the roof that shouldn't be up on there, you can prevent that. Satellite installation on the roof, you can sometimes prevent that.
Well, and I wouldn't say prevent people from being on the roof, because, as we talked about, sometimes the satellite people do need to go up there. HVAC people do need to go up there. But, have a conversation with them, or look at different companies and just ask them about their experience with being on roofs, what measures they take to make sure that they are not causing damage. And when it comes to having anybody else up on your roof, say a roofing company, always make sure that you are, I don't want to say sticking with your gut, but I feel like you usually have a gut feeling about places. But beyond that gut feeling, also, look into their background, maybe look at reviews that are left by their company on how qualified are they to actually be on your roof. Because let me tell you, not all roofing contractors out there are as qualified as you would like to think.
But like there's some things that you can't prevent. Like you can't prevent storm damage. You can't prevent the wear and tear of a roof, and that is where you have a roofing contractor come in and perform yearly maintenance, so that you are keeping up with the roof quality to help prevent some of these things from happening.
Yeah. Also, I'd like to just put out there are some of these things I know, some storm damage, hail, and whatnot, is sometimes covered by insurance, or even, I don't know much about roof warranties, but there are some roof warranties out there that say they'll cover things, but make sure that you're looking into the insurance and warranties to make sure that you are, say, on top of that maintenance, because I know a lot of them do take the approach where you have to prove that you've had maintenance done and that the things that happened were from the storm to get the coverage, to get everything fixed. So if you're trying to bank on that when it comes to holes in your roofing, make sure you know the details of your policy and what you have to be following for it to work.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us for another episode. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, requests, you can email us at marketing@roofmedics.com. You can message us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. You can comment under our YouTube, and we will see you next time.
That brings us to the end of today's episode. If you've been loving what you're hearing, make sure to press the subscribe button so you get notified anytime we post a new episode. Episodes come out on Monday and Fridays. Please feel free to share this podcast with a friend. We'd love everybody to be able to join us and learn more about the roofing industry as we go along on this journey. If you don't already, follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube. I will put all of our information down in the show notes below. Feel free to contact us with any questions or any roofing ideas that you would love for us to talk about. I hope you have a great day, and we will see you next time.